Hello. Today I want to talk to you about lies that my eating disorder told me and ask you, what is your eating disorder telling you? You see, eating disorders start off supporting you. At least that's what this part of you has you believing. Truth be told, this kind of support isn't trustworthy, nor is it loyal. You see, while you may be using food or lack of it to navigate a world where you feel disconnected and unsafe, disordered eating behaviors only serve to feed you with false beliefs, untruths, and contradictions. A disordered relationship with eating has you living on a battlefield of sorts. Every single minute is filled with conflicts and escalating battles between the part of you that shows up as the eating disorder and the part that is your healthy self. The eating disorder voice has a way of speaking to you, prodding you to behave a certain way, convincing you that you'll feel better when you escape from, when you avoid and numb yourself to what you don't want to feel or can't fully express. Your healthy voice tries to argue, but you often end up losing that battle and you find yourself in a continuous state of distress. Does this sound familiar? It was sometime during my recovery experience that I learned to distinguish between those conflicting voices and their messaging. I began to uncover and explore the recurring lies that were having the greatest impact on me. It was then that I started the journey to empowerment that gave voice to my healthy self, and today I can report that it usually has the last word. So these are some of the lies my eating disorder had me believing and reacting to. Is the disordered voice in your head spreading the same untruths to you? First, you are fat. This lie has you believing, it did me, that a magic number on the scale will allow you to be happy. The truth is, no matter how much weight you gain or how much weight you lose, your disordered mind will never be satisfied and will keep telling you the same thing. Another truth related to this is that fat is not a feeling, nor is it indicative of who you are. Fat is an essential nutrient. Fat is a component of body composition, and a necessary one at that. Another lie, you're not thin enough or heavy enough to have an eating disorder. Well, you know what? Your weight does not define the severity of your disordered thinking or behavior. Most people, but not all, diagnosed with anorexia are underweight, and many, but not all, with binge eating disorder are overweight, and others with bulimia or avoidance and restrictive food intake disorder are normal weight. Know that weight is a symptom of an ineffective coping mechanism for not being able to express emotions. The real problem and severity lie in issues like self-loathing, a lack of self-worth and acceptance, a lack of self-compassion, anxiety, and depression. The longer you live with your eating challenges, the more damaging the impact to your body and your brain. Please don't think your experience isn't serious enough. Another lie, if you start eating, you won't be able to stop. Well, the fear of losing control is very common and it's very real. And this fear is the result of several issues. One being the messages and beliefs you carry relating to hunger and fullness cues. Another is malnutrition, which causes you to think about food all the time. You aren't thinking clearly. Working with a practitioner who will guide you to a meal plan that is balanced according to your unique needs will stabilize your body and your brain. You see, you can learn to trust your hungers and respond appropriately. And finally, who will you be without me, the eating disorder? You are no one without your eating disorder. Who would you be without these behaviors? Do you think about or even fear the same thing? This is something I feared for a very long time. You see, when you're dependent on your disordered behaviors in an effort to numb, distract, or avoid situations feelings and emotions you can't express or tolerate. Your eating disorder serves to help you navigate a world you find yourself in. Perhaps you feel confined in that world. Perhaps your eating challenges have started to define you, created an identity. Perhaps it's become a part of the story you're finding comfort in, and you're having difficulty letting go of that. This was a really big one. After all, as you've heard me repeat often, the eating disorder starts out as a solution. What that solution is for you, what's requiring a solution, looks different for each of us. But to speak to this falsehood in general terms, the lie enforces things like, who else can make you forget your problems and feel like everything is okay? How can you endure the pain of your situation without it? If things don't go your way, not only won't you be able to turn to disordered behaviors for comfort and protection, but you won't be able to blame the eating disorder either. And you'll have no more excuses, nowhere to hide. I truly hope you find support to explore and come to understand how your disordered behaviors serve a purpose for you. There will be fear behind the hesitation to let your eating disorder go. It might threaten you or scare you, make strong arguments about why you won't be okay without it, and try to convince you it's still necessary. But here's something I feel that's stronger than that fear. It's this feeling that you will be okay in spite of the struggle. And you can be thankful for the struggle because it allowed you to get the support you needed to find your strength, to search your soul, to examine your life and your relationship to it. I'm Mindy Gorman-Plutzer, and that's the Freedom Promise. What are some of the lies your eating disorder has you believing? Let me know by replying below.